This is one of the more vulnerable parts of this story. I felt the most shame at this point in time, at this moment with this person. When I told the gynecologist that got assigned to me what this person said and did, he was in shock during my second appointment that I showed up in person because my first one was a video chat. He was in shock. He said, I didn't think you were going to show up to your appointment, honestly. And we're laughing because we're getting along really well. And I said, why? Why would you think that? What did I do to make you think that I wouldn't show up? And he said, you didn't do anything. It's what we did to you. I really didn't think you'd come in after how you were treated. So I feel better knowing that even the gynecologist thinks what this person did specifically was just beyond. Why? So at this point, it's probably about 6:30 in the morning, almost 7. And I know this because I use my chart, and it tells me that when I got seen by the first doctor and they started doing the first test, it was about 6:37 in the morning. So it's been about 7 hours. But before the doctor, I had to get changed into a gown. And that's when I met Miss See You Next Tuesday. I don't think she was a nurse, and I want to say now the nurses were wonderful. I have nothing against nurses. When I got upstairs and had to spend a few days in the hospital, I don't think I would have gotten through it without talking to some of the nurses that I did. They were vulnerable. They shared their own stories. They told me how this wasn't my fault. And I honestly don't think I would have made it through the first 2 nights without them. So this has nothing to do with the nurses. This woman was not a nurse. I get brought to a gurney in a hallway because obviously it's an ER, it's busy, they don't have rooms. And when I get wheeled in, she tells me to get up and she wants me to change into the gown and get into the gurney. I immediately tell her through gritted teeth, because I'm still having contractions and screaming, I can't. She immediately says, well, you got yourself to the hospital, so you can get into the bed. I don't have a big backbone. It's just something that's known about me, especially if you've known me in this channel. I don't fight for myself very often, and that is something I'm trying to work on. But at this moment, I was in too much pain to even try to fight back. I just was crying. If I wasn't screaming, I was crying. I was terrified. I was alone. I didn't know what was happening, and I felt like I was dying. I remember looking at her and begging her, ma'am, I can't. And I was standing up at the same time, and I was wearing this pair of leggings that I've had for a long time, and I do miss them because I did have to throw them out because at this point they were a biohazard. Everything was soaked. The wheelchair seat below me was covered in urine and the infection fluid, and there was nothing